to our final three. This is a very long, difficult game, as we all know. Let's give a round of applause. So here's how it's going to work. First, you will all get a chance to address the jury. Talk about your game, give your pitch on why you think you should win. Then each of the jurors will have a chance to address you. They could ask a question, they can make a statement, they could do a little dance, whatever they want to do. And then after all the jurors have said their piece, you'll each get one last chance to make a final quick plea to the jury about why you should win, wrapping up your points from throughout the night. All right, we'll start with Elise.
Oh, I have to go first?
Yes, but
okay.
We'll start with Ava the next time.
Okay. I guess to plead my case, I'll just say I've been very upfront with people pretty much this whole time, and I've tried to be honest with everyone while also trying to strategically get to this place, which is tough. It's a tough balance to maintain. I'll also say I never committed to something that I wasn't going to do. This has been a really long day, and I'll say about 90% of the time I was entirely clueless on what was going on. So my gameplay, I would say in terms of sophistication, was not super high, which almost makes it more impressive that I'm here. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I just tried to be nice and polite to people. I don't really know what else to say.
All right, thank you, Elise. Patrick, you're at it.
So early on in the game, I didn't really have much of a strategy. I was kind of with Olivia and I was kind of with Elise, and we were kind of battling our way through everything, and then we had to see Olivia go, and at that point I kind of realized that, you know, we were caught in a really hard situation where it was kind of like there were 4 solid people and then there were kind of 5 to the left of us. And in my opinion, this game is all about like how much you can influence what's going on. And I felt like I had a really huge hand in being like, okay, this is what we need to do so that we can stay in. This is what we need to do so that we can make it past this and get to that final round. So I'd say like a lot of major decisions in this game today, like I feel like I had a pretty large hand in trying to construct like, oh, maybe we should get out this person, maybe this person should go, to try to make sure that like I would get here, I would keep my alliance. If I had an alliance with you, I tried to keep it as strongly as I could. I'm so sorry. It was just like, no, I'm so sorry. Just because it was do or die in that moment for me. It was like either I have to give up this alliance or like I'm done. And like it was 1 or 2. So yeah, I'm really sorry about that. That was like, I mean, it's just something I had to do. But yeah, I feel like I also like contributed pretty well after the merge in competitions. I mean, I've won like 3 immunity items. So I feel like I played a pretty holistic game today. I really put my best foot forward to make things happen in Survivor and to pull the trigger whenever needed.
All right, and Ava, you are up.
I think if you like look at where my game started today, like truly from the bottom, like Orange, like we just got destroyed for like I've been to every single, what do you call it? Tribal council. Every single one of this whole day. Which was just an experience.
Has anyone ever done it?
I don't know, don't ask me for stats.
So like that was obviously really stressful. But like as far as like how my game went, I was kind of trying to just like be nice to everyone and like basically like have no bad blood with people, but also like I felt like, I mean, I rolled with the majority for like a lot of the time because like that's how I felt like was the best way to keep myself safe initially, for sure. And like things shifted after the merge, and then like we did have to like do some like backdoor like sneaky things, but like it was never like no worries, like I'm for sure not gonna vote you out. Like I feel like I was never like completely dishonest with people. And then like as far as like winning challenges and stuff, like I mean like I just won the last like 2 like big challenges of the game, so I feel like I was a good competitor in that aspect too. I feel like I never really like bombed anything for us or anything, or in that sense. So.
All right, so that is the end of the opening statements. We will move to the jury. So our first juror was, I believe, Christian. Christian, do you have a question or a statement?
I have a bit.
Oh,
Alright, so,
Oh, sorry, wait, no, I got it wrong. Olivia was before Christian.
oh, okay.
Sorry to take the air out of that moment.
While I was there, it seemed
like you guys were playing like a slow, short-term game kind of game. Honestly, like could be called boring, you know? So what would you say your biggest risk was, and how did it affect your long-term game?
All right, so recap just in case the cameras didn't pick that up. She asked, what is your biggest risk and how did that affect your long-term game? Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I go first?
We'll start with Patrick this time.
Okay. So my biggest risk. So I was well aware that Carlin and Ava were very tight with the other 4 purple players, and so I had to trust them that they would vote with us to get Jenna out. And I feel like that was like a big trust thing. That was like a big risk thing because they were like, you guys were sitting with them the entire round. You guys like for like 3 rounds, you guys like were with them the whole time. So I thought that was solid. So my biggest risk was definitely that, because I knew if that had gone wrong, I would have gone home.
Ava.
Yeah, I would say for me, like, one of the times like I felt most at risk was like after the merge, like just being the part of like the smallest team standing, I guess you could say. Like I felt like we could maybe be picked off, you know, because like weak target. But also like trusting Patrick was like a really big risk for me too, because like I had talked to him like twice, but like I think that like doing that for sure helped me get where I am right now. Like I think that if I would have gone the other way and not have like rolled with that, like, I mean, Carlin wouldn't have like played on that side a little more, like, I don't know what would have happened, so things could be very different.
All right, and Elise.
Yeah, I think my biggest risk came later in the game when we chose to eliminate Carlin, because I really did not know how those votes were going to go, and I knew that if it didn't go the way I wanted to, then I was up the next round. And my name has been in the elimination pot numerous times, always short of a majority. And I will say, despite the fact that that's my biggest risk, I think another big risk was that I trusted Patrick from the beginning of this until now.
Just good luck, congratulations.
Christian, do you have any questions?
You gotta pick. So I don't have any questions. I have a lot of observations, and I want to say something about each and every one of you, and you can address it if you want to in your closing statements. Being a big player, obviously I was the biggest target in this game the whole time I was in it, and I respect a lot of big players as well, and that's what I'm going to be voting for. So when it comes to you, Alex,
That's not my name, I'm sorry.
Alex, I don't know you personally, and I'm only saying this based on your gameplay. It has nothing to do with you personally. We haven't talked, but your gameplay is not admirable and not respectable in my eyes, because you literally just follow Patrick all day. It's not something that I want to vote for as the winner of this season, and I hope you can understand like where I'm coming from that, because you said that you did not have a clue what was going on for 90% of the votes. You just said that. So it's not something that I'm gonna want to vote for as a winner. Patrick, I do like how you were wild at some points, and I love aggressive gameplays, and you played a little aggressive, but the fact that you had so many floaters around you, it kind of like leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. The fact that like you just had a bunch of floaters, like this guy, the fact that you like had these people around you like as your barrier, I feel like you like stumbled upon it, like they were in your original tribe, and the fact that they weren't going to do anything strategically and they were just following you the whole time, it doesn't leave like me with a good feeling about what you've done in this game. So if you want to address that in your final speech, I'd be open to it. Ava, I think you played an amazing game. You went to every single tribal council, and you know, me and Carlin went to all those as well. But I think you played an amazing game. Your social game was awesome. The fact that you've gone to every single one of these tribal councils and you have made sure that you were on the right side of, you know, making sure that you're not out in those tribals is really admirable. I think you won when you had to, and it was really impressive that you won the last two. It almost sealed the deal for me. Like I'm very close to voting for you. I really respect a lot of what you did today. and it doesn't just piggyback off of like we work together. The fact that we did work together, I got to see what your game was like, and your social game is very good. I really respect your social game. Being a big player, it's hard for me to have a target stay off my back, and the fact that you like never really had that kind of target, but you were playing so well is really admirable. So if you want to own up to a lot of your stuff, please do. In my eyes, you definitely deserve to win this game. So that's it.
All right.
I mean, I like totally like felt that and respect that. But I mean, I definitely like whenever I saw a competition, I like in my group and like a possibility of me like getting out, I was very aware of that, and I tried to like keep keep the people around me just without like a target on my back. So like Grant, like whenever you were coming up, you're a great competitor, and I knew that you'd be some really great competition moving forward. So whenever it got to that point where I know that you could have really helped me, but I knew that like also Alex could have helped me. So we could have voted for Alex that time, but we voted for you because you were the more competitive player. And I wanted to make sure that like whenever I got here, I didn't want to be around super competitive people who, yeah.
I will say the fact that I say I don't know what's going on 90% of the time doesn't mean I don't know what's going on 90% of the time. And so, I mean, I always felt like it was better to read the room before making any observations and judgments, and people who think I don't know what's going on are more likely to let me in on things, which was really nice during the game, because I will say, I was thinking about it, I don't think I was ever in a tribal council that wasn't a majority. So I always knew exactly what was going on, which was, I felt, was a good asset in my gameplay.
Right. And Ava, did you want to address anything?
I would just say, like, in regards to my social game, like, I feel like throughout the whole thing, like, I didn't have bad relationships with anyone. Like, I feel like nothing went, like, super sour ever, you know?
I just want to know if Patrick orchestrated the thing behind me. No, like, bitterness. I just want to know.
All right, so this is exactly what happened. So the challenge before, so there was 9 people during the immunity challenge. Me and Carla were kind of looking at each other a little bit, and I kind of got the vibe, and we knew that you guys were 4, and y'all were solid 4. Like, that's just what it looked like to us. You guys were the solid 4. So, I mean, like, I would say it was definitely a like trio effort, but like it was kind of like, yeah.
You were saying y'all 3?
It was like us 3.
Carlin, you, and
Ava.
Ava.
We were like the ones in on the conversation.
Can I comment or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like that was pitched to me a little bit, but that's just how I feel.
I'll accept it.
But I like was accepting of it, so like I'll own up that.
Yeah.
But like I was not like,
No, it's not like I'm not
Let's
gonna
get Jenna.
vote, like,
So
Let's just make this straight. I'm not voting out of bitterness.
Yeah.
Like, not at all. I'm voting for whoever played the best game. So, like, in my eyes, the people that orchestrated that behind me, because I literally, after that, I had no idea. Like, complete blindside, like, props, like, all good. But, like, yeah, I just wanted to know who was behind it because good move for them.
I want to know who your closest ally was and it could be multiple allies, and what y'all accomplished together as a team.
okay, I would say like my number 1 closest ally was for sure Carlin. Just because like even like we weren't even like aside being like, okay, like you got me, I got you, like 1 and 2, like let's do this. It was just kind of like low key, we just kind of knew. Especially just because we started off like failing together, so it really bonded us. So a lot of like, it was always nice because like if I was like, Carl, like I'm between these two, like what are you thinking? Like it was nice to like bounce off of that. But then also like towards the end, I would say like I made most big moves like with Patrick, and like that's probably like my 2 like later end alliances, because like initially I was like, when we merged, like I was trying to be like with the orange team, like 4 people that we were still left, but it didn't really work out as much. So
All right, we'll move on to Elise.
Well, Patrick was definitely my closest alliance, and I learned very early on that he had kind of a sophisticated social game going on, which made it very easy for me to follow his lead in terms of understanding what the dynamic was on who was, the general consensus on who was going home in every single sort of tribal council situation. And so understanding that he was able to kind of politic with everyone made him really valuable as an alliance.
So I would say the most valuable alliances that I definitely had were Alix and Olivia, and I would say toward the end, Alex. But later in the game, whenever Tiffany, you were in the game, and Carlin is Tiffany, Carlin, Ava, me, Alex, and Elise. And whenever we tried, basically what we were trying to do was like kind of get, like, it was kind of like this alliance between me, Tiffany, Elise, and then trying to get with Alex to get one of like Carlin or Ava out, because I felt like there was a duo there that would have ridden till the end. So if it was like 2-on-2, like you guys, 2 against us, then it would have been really hard for us to do that. So I really tried really hard to get with you guys so that we could get one of them out so that it would put us in a better position.
I have one more question if you don't mind. So also pretty general, but if you could go back into any point in the game and change one move that you made, what would it be?
If I could change anything during the game, I would have tried to talk to more people. I felt like I isolated myself too often.
Patrick, yeah.
Honestly, I feel like I wish I would have worked with Christian more. As much as he had a target on his back, I feel as though we really could have done something there, and we definitely had, like, if we would have just gotten a couple more people, we would have had a majority. But the main problem was, like, I was really discouraged until I had my back against the wall, and then that was kind of whenever I had to kick into high gear social game. I had to make some big moves, some big decisions, and I mean that's like what ended up getting like one of the biggest players in the game to out. So.
Can you repeat the question? Oh, one thing I would change?
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I wouldn't change anything, just because, like, I came into this, like, very naive as to, like, how it went down. So, like, I think I was very true to myself and how I played. So.
Luke literally just stole my question. I was gonna go for, like, big mistakes that you felt like, or a mistake that you felt like you'd made.
Okay, I just want to start by saying congratulations to all 3 of you. At some point in the game, I did work with you, have some alliance, tried to get people out, so I'm really happy for all of you. This question is for Alix and Ava. Both of you mentioned just now in your statements that trusting Patrick was a risk to your game. However, it seems like you kind of just piggybacked off of him. Like, you let him make the, large moves, and you were like, oh yeah, I'll just go with the majority, it's a safer thing to do. I didn't take any risks other than being close to Patrick. So I just want you to convince me why you disagree with my statement that I made, why you think that you did not piggyback off of Patrick and that you don't owe all the credit for being here in the top 3 to Patrick.
First off, I would say that, like, especially towards the end, like, I knew that, like, they were, like, were gonna throw me under the bus, like, easily, like, towards the end. So I was very hesitant, but also, like, it was in my best interest to stay loyal. But also, I feel like he's not the reason I'm here right now. Like, I made all of my decisions. It wasn't like, oh, Patrick's voting for Carlin, so I'm gonna vote for Carlin. Like, it was never like that. And also, like, to say that, like, I let him make big moves, like, I feel like you could say that was smart also, like, because I wasn't, like, putting a huge target on my back. But I was also, like, playing the social game, too, at the same time. So.
I'll say, I think the only reason that I'm actually here, aside from the fact that I consistently trusted Patrick and understood what the majority dynamic was, is because I got immunity in that one challenge. I think that if I didn't have immunity in that challenge,
Which challenge? are you talking about?
I don't even remember.
It's
Which
the
one
one,
did you
the one where Tiffany went home.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
so right. Alex straight up said, "I want Alex."
Yeah, no,
like,
and I had the
here I am.
I had the feeling people had been saying that for game after game, and my name had been showing up in the tribal council, and so I think that it was competition play that got me here, not just entirely trusting Patrick. Because if it was just that, I don't think I'd be here. I think that at some point there would have been some kind of switch up that wasn't involving me and him, and I would not have been in the majority again. I really I don't think it was entirely piggybacking off of him pretty much in that way that otherwise, and I also feel like the majority was shifting towards kicking me out at that point. So if I hadn't wanted me to be in that one, then I wouldn't be here.
Can I add something? Or
I want to add too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Go
I'm gonna go for up
you
to.
go first.
Are you sure? Okay. Also, like just to add on what I was saying, like if I wouldn't have won the last 2 challenges, I feel like I would have been for sure like targeted and kicked out. So like I for sure like played hard for those at the end.
So what I was gonna say was, even though I made big game plays, I was never the target, if that makes sense. Like I was never the one who was getting their name. I don't think I got my name put in the pot once. And the only reason, Carlin, the only reason that we really went for you in particular was because you told the leaks that y'all were gonna come for me. And so, yeah, that's the only reason. I was like, okay, well we're going for Carlin. Yeah, so that's exactly kind of what happened. So I think I made some big aggressive moves while also keeping my name off the table.
Hi, I'm this guy, the floater, according to Christian. But I don't really have any questions, but I just have some comments. Personally, out of you 3, you guys are all cool. I think Christian was the one who had the best strategy out of all of
Christian
you.
got it.
Not no. I'm sorry, I said your name. I meant Patrick. I was thinking, your name was on my mind, I apologize. Patrick had the best strategy out of the 3. I think he was, out of all the immunity challenge, he was the best competitor. I mean, is it true? I think you've won the most out of the 3 out there.
3.
So, I think that should definitely be taken into consideration. As you said, your name has never been put in the pot. You did a great job socializing. And as a fellow floater, I felt you two were also floating as well, which is not a problem. I mean, you made it here, but I felt like the strategy wasn't necessarily there for you two. Not saying you didn't have a strategy, I just didn't think it was nearly, as complex as Patrick's.
All right, and he was our final juror. So instead of just commenting on that, we'll just move into finals because I feel like it's going to be similar things said. Okay, so we will move into final statement. So you each get one last chance to summarize your game, plead your case, address any loose ends that you feel are still out there. We start with the leaks the first time, so we'll start with Ava this time.
Okay. I just disagree with what Alex said. I don't think I was a floater because I was I was in the know. Pretty much every time we voted, I knew what was going on. And if you're just chilling and literally floating, sometimes you have no idea what everyone else is doing until they come up to you and are like, we are doing this, this is what's going down. And that's not how it was for me. I said, there's not much there's not anything I would specifically change that I did. I just tried my best to be as upfront and true to myself as I could, just getting to know everyone and just trying to make connections and work through it. So.
Great, thank you, Patrick. You're up.
So I kind of like to start with saying, I feel like I tried to play as clean of a game as I could today. And I'm not saying I played the cleanest game because I definitely did it. I had to lie a couple times and that's just the name of the game. But I will say I tried to play a clean game. Whenever something was going down, with Alex and Grant, I really tried to be listen, it's really not going your way and I'm really sorry about it, but this is just how it's going. And I couldn't really, there was just a lot going on, so I couldn't sway everybody away. It was just, that was just what was going to happen. As for alliances, I feel like I stayed true to my alliance with Alix, and up until Olivia getting eliminated, we were a trio for sure, and we worked really hard together. But then after Olivia left, I really felt like there was a like I had to kick it into high gear. Like it was now or never. I had to go, and that was whenever I started to make aggressive decisions. And I won't say that I didn't surround myself with competitive people, because I definitely made relationships with Jenna, with Grant, with a lot of people who could have made really great money moves later on in the game, who could have had big targets on my back. But I just made sure that whenever there was a big competition, a big competitor, I didn't want to keep too many competitors in the game. I wanted to make sure that I seemed like I had the entire Survivor house on my side to be able to like push what I needed to be done. And yeah, I really, it's kind of, yeah, that's what I have to say.
All right, and last, Onyx.
I mean, I have trouble talking a lot about what happened today, because I feel like I'm having a hammer, like in a nail, going into my brain right now, but that's a different problem. So I feel like today, what I brought in terms of competitiveness and in terms of gameplay was just an understanding and an attempt to understand where everyone was, instead of trying to only understand where my alliances were. And so numerous times I was always trying to understand where every side sat and what the possibility was of every single side, either combining with other alliances or not doing that. I will say the sophisticatedness of my strategy was probably lacking, and at certain times I did not know what was going on, especially in the beginning. But as the game went on, I just tried to understand everything that was going on and all the different dynamics. And honestly, if that's not enough, that's okay.
All right, thank you. That is how the game of Survivor is played. Let's give our final three a round of applause. Here we are, 17 hours later. Y'all really dug deep today. I just want to really compliment y'all on this season. I was very impressed, especially from all of our new players. I thought it was very strong all around. Very impressed with the gameplay. I had a lot of fun. I thought there were very many interesting votes, and I had a very good time. Another congratulations to our final three. Y'all know how hard this game is. Round of applause. And a bigger round of applause featuring hoots and hollers for our film crew. They stand in the hot sun all day just to get
look how
the
much darker
goss.
I am.
I cannot thank you enough for fueling my hobby. Is it unhealthy? Maybe. So it's time to reveal our winner. You want to see your name. I wish you all good luck, even though I know what happens. First vote, Patrick. That's one vote, Patrick. Second vote, Ava. Next vote, Patrick. Two votes, Patrick. One vote, Ava. Next vote, Patrick. Three votes, Patrick. One vote, Ava. Next vote, Patrick. Four votes, Patrick. One vote, Ava. Next vote. The winner of Survivor Hidden Valley is Patrick.